Okay, so this is gonna be my second time trying to film this clip because I realized that I hit the stop button. Anyways. Welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. I have a lot of books that I want to get through this week because the past 2 weeks of September, first week and second week, I was really slacking with my reading and I have a pretty big TBR. So the first book that I actually finished this week was The Marrow Thieves. I finished it today while I was at work. I didn't rate it because I felt like it had more of like a message than anything. It is like a YA dystopian. In this dystopian world, people can't dream, and the only people that can dream are Indigenous people. And so they have discovered that if you use the bone marrow of Indigenous people, that you can dream as well. So they are essentially killing Indigenous people, and so they're on the run from trying to kidnap them and basically take their bone marrow. I thought it was great. I thought it had a lot of conversations into how white supremacy really affects Indigenous people, a lot of talks of like abuse and loss of culture. So it was really good. I would highly recommend reading this. In my TBR video, this was written by someone Indigenous to America, and I was wrong. It's a Canadian Indigenous person, so I'm sorry that I spread misinformation. So I also finished some graphic novels. Okay, so I finished The October Faction, Volume 1, which I don't exactly know what this is about. I think it's about a family of monster hunters. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars because I was really intrigued and illustrations were fantastic. And then I also finished Sweet Tooth, the deluxe edition, volume 1. And I didn't rate this. I will not be continuing. I don't really like it. Like, imagine a world where pandemic has wiped out a bunch of, like, most of the population, and then all of the kids that were born after this pandemic hit the world, all of the kids were like mutated and they were like half animals, I guess. And then the main character is half deer, and then his dad dies and he has to like go off on his own, and he meets this other guy who's like, I'll take you away, I'll take you to like a sanctuary of where it'll be like safe for you to live because people will hunt him, the half deer boy. And so yeah, so that's what that is about. Like I said, I won't be continuing. Let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading now. So if you saw my last vlog, you'll know that I started Clockwork Prince. I'm only 61 pages in. This is the second book in the Infernal Devices, which is about a girl named Tessa Gray who discovers that she has the ability to shapeshift into anyone that she wants to. She just has to have like an object of theirs, and she discovers that there are like demons and warlocks and witches, not witches, vampires and werewolves, and then shadow hunters are half angel, and they are supposed to protect humans from demons and like keep the peace with all of like the magical creatures. Then I got the audiobook for Red Dragon, which is the first book in the Hannibal Lecter series. This is the books that the movies are based off of, and it follows a investigator named Graham, who was the reason that Hannibal Lecter, who's like a serial killing cannibalist, was put in prison. And in this one, he is charged like on this new murder, and I think he goes to Hannibal Lecter in prison and it's like, hey, I need your help figuring out like what's going on with this guy. 60 pages in, and a lot of people say that like the movie is better, and I can see that because like this is written in 81 and the writing is just not fantastic. I also picked up the audiobook for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I plan on starting after I finish Red Dragon. Also want to pick up the Sword of Shannara, which is the first in the Shannara Chronicles series. I read the second one years ago when the TV show first came out, but I didn't read the first and the third one. It says, long ago, the wars of the ancient evil ruined the world. In peaceful Shadyvale, half-elven Shay Omsford knows little of such troubles, but the supposedly deadly Warlock Lord is plotting to destroy everything in his wake. The sole weapon against this power of darkness is the Sword of Shannara, which can only be used by a true heir of Shannara. On Shay, last of the bloodline, rests the hope of all of the race. So I like the second one. The writing style is really easy to get into. So I'm excited to jump into this one. This is significantly longer than the second one was. I don't know if maybe I don't have the right edition of the second one or what, but I need to read this. And then the last book that I want to read this week is The Last Magician, which is the story of a magician in modern day who has the ability to time travel, and she has to like go back in time to the 20s, I believe, and get like a magical artifact that is supposed to stop something like sinister from happening. And she gets stuck in the 20s. She and the warlocks or the magicians in that time period have to like get together to figure out how to get her back to her time period. So those are the books that I want to read this week. I am probably going to continue listening to the audiobook for The Red Dragon while the ferrets are out, and then I also need to go through my clothes later and like pick out the clothes that I'm not gonna wear and like bag them up for donation. So I also am gonna listen to the audiobook while I do that. So I should get a decent chunk of the way into this, but I will update you guys once I have some thoughts, I guess, or if anything crazy happens. Hey guys, it is Tuesday, I think. I don't remember. I think it's Tuesday. And I got through some books today, not finished, but I got through some books. So I started Not So Pure and Simple again. I started it last week and then decided to put it down, and then I picked it up again today at work. And I think I'm just going to set it down. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just not really connecting with the story at all. I'm not a huge fan of the main character, and I know that he's not supposed to be likable. For one, he's a teenage boy, and you know, and it also addresses a lot of issues like toxic masculinity and things like that. So I know he's not necessarily supposed to be likable, but I just don't want to force myself through the book if I'm not going to enjoy it. But I still think that it has some important conversations. If that sounds like something that you are interested in, I definitely would recommend checking it out. It just is not personally for me. I was not feeling it. So then I got through more of my audiobook for Red Dragon, and I am now on officially page 201. Like I said, I definitely can see why people are not huge fans of the writing. It's not great. I think that the author focuses on a lot of details that I wish he didn't. I wish we were getting a little bit more about the serial killer that we're supposed to be following, and not some of the more useless details, I guess. But I'm still liking it okay. It would definitely get a 3-star. The audiobook, I think if I was reading it physically, I probably would have DNF'd it at this point, but the audiobook is keeping my attention. And then I got 253 pages into Clockwork Prince. I am still enjoying it. It's still making me get a little emotional at some points, so I definitely know that this go round I'm going to cry at the ending. So I'm not done for the night. It's only like 7:40ish, so I'm gonna read for like a couple more hours. I had a lot of training today at work, and I still am gonna be trained into tomorrow, and then after that I have more of like the audit that I was talking about from, was it last vlog or this vlog? So basically I'm being at work, I'm being audited. Like I had to turn all, because the audit is virtual, I had to like get all of my stuff together last week, and then the actual audit is this week. So Thursday the auditor is gonna go over what we still need, or like if there's anything wrong with the stuff that I turned in. But yeah, so the next couple days are still gonna be busy at work, which means that I'm probably not gonna get much reading done there. Hopefully I will finish one of those books soon. Once I finish the audiobook of Red Dragon, I'm gonna get into the audiobook of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And then once I finish Clockwork Prince, I'm going to get into the Shannara Chronicles. I still have a lot of books left on my TBR for the month, so I still plan on reading The Last Magician this week. This will probably be like a weekend book that I try to knock out this weekend. I don't know what all I'm gonna be able to get through this week. I really would like to get through Red Dragon, Clockwork Prince, The Sword of Shannara, The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Last Magician, and then Dracula. Those are like my hefty plans, and the majority of it is audiobook, so we'll see, because I don't really do a whole lot of audiobook listening. I really only listen on my commute to work. I am going to get back into reading The Clockwork Prince and see how far I can get. I am annotating, so it's taking me a little bit longer to read than if I was just regularly reading. But anyways, so I'm gonna jump into this, and I will probably update you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's Wednesday night, and I did a pretty decent amount of reading today. If you hear a weird noise, it's my heater in the background. For some reason, I'm freezing right now. So I didn't get any more into Red Dragon. I'm still on chapter 18. Did I tell you guys that? I don't remember, but chapter 18. And then I finished Clockwork Prince today while I was at work. Finished my annotations, 5 out of 5 stars. Don't know if I gave a rating for the first one, but 5 out of 5 stars. I didn't cry at the ending like I was expecting to, but I was at work, so I was like holding back emotions, but the heartbreak was real. And I actually just picked up The Last Magician. I am only on page 7, so I'm like on chapter 1. I decided to edit some videos today when I got home from work, so I wasn't able to do any sort of reading, but now I'm about to sit down with dinner, and I'm hopefully gonna get some reading done. I really have been thinking about things, I guess. I really want to kind of change up the way that I'm doing things. This is like just the most rambly thing ever, but like for example, the way I use my reading journal. So I use my reading journal as like a reading / life journal. So like this month's spread is absolutely terrible, so don't look at it too closely. But so like I only use 2 spreads, but 4 pages. And like, this is my weekly to-dos, and that is my habit trackers and my books read with their ratings. And then the next page is like the next month. And I don't think I'm using it as effectively as I would like. I definitely know that I don't use my to-dos as much. I'm a very forgetful person, and so I kind of set up my to-do list with the idea in mind that I am forgetful, and then I just end up forgetting to use it. So I really want to kind of remedy that. I need some sort of something, like some sort of, I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling very like I'm free falling, I guess would be the word. Like just kind of randomly doing stuff. I need like a set course, and I just need more, I don't know, but I need to figure something out. So even though I have already set my pages up to October, like my to-dos, my budget, which I need to start doing, my habit, and my books read, I really need to figure out what I want from my journal and use it more than I'm using it, because I'm just wasting time. I feel like getting the spreads together and then whatever. So I need to figure out a way to like think of what I want this to do for me, I guess. I don't know why I just got on that tangent. I'm like not feeling great. I'm just very tired. I'm having cramps. I'm cold. I'm just not in the best like mood or whatever today, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna do. Honestly, I think I'm gonna eat dinner and watch some videos, or maybe watch some Twitch. I don't want to like force myself to read. So yeah, that's my update, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. like 3-ish, 3 o'clock. And I have read some books since I updated you last. I think the last time I updated you, I had read Sweet Tooth, and I said I was going to start The Last Magician. I am still only on the first chapter. I haven't read any more beyond the prologue. I am now on chapter 33, page 319 of The Red Dragon. I only have like 3 hours and some change left of the audiobook. And then I also read The Air He Breathes, which is a romance story of 2 people. Both have like lost their spouses recently. That's not a spoiler, it happens like within the first couple of chapters, and they kind of use each other to like remember their significant others, and then like a relationship forms between the 2. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I was really liking it. Like I even cried at a couple of points until about like the 70% mark, and then it got weird. Like it became like an action movie, and it was just a very odd twist. It was weird, but it was still like, I still finished it and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I started and DNF'd The Guy on the Right at about 45%. There was several issues that I had with this book that made me ultimately DNF it. The first being that there is a Halloween party, and our female main character, who is white, dresses as Medea, who is not white, and the male main character makes a comment about it being inappropriate, and she like brushes it off, and then everybody else doesn't really get her costume, like they don't get it, and she's like makes really inappropriate comments and just doesn't talk well, and that's like really icky. I don't like that. The second issue is that our male main character Theo spent the entire 45% bitching about being friend zoned, which is just disgusting because Lainey, like the girl, doesn't owe you anything. If she just wants to be friends with you, then that's her decision, and then you act accordingly. You don't get to bitch about how dare she decide that I'm her friend. Like, she doesn't owe you anything. You're not owed anything just because you're a nice guy. If she wants to just be friends with you, then she can just be friends with you. And then the third issue that I had was Lainey, who is the female main character, was just super obnoxious. Like the entire time, anytime she saw like a hot guy, she would act as if that guy immediately wanted her by having no conversations with him. She was just obnoxious, and she just assumed everyone wanted her, and it was irritating. So I sat that down. It was icky. It didn't make me feel good. I just didn't really like it, and I will not be continuing. I did get a couple of books from Kindle Unlimited that I want to pick up this weekend. I got the second book in the Elements series, which is what the Air He Breathes is from. It's the first book. I picked up the second book, so I hope to get to that this weekend. But mostly I just want to focus on the books that I have left that I wanted to read this week. So I was kind of expecting to be a little bit I was expecting, honestly, to be done with Red Dragon by this time, but I'm not, obviously. So I'm gonna try to knock that out today. Like I said, I only have like 3 hours left, so I need to knock that out. And then I also want to get through The Last Magician. It's pretty short. It's only like, it's a little under 500 pages, and the writing is kind of tiny. So, hoping I can get through the majority of this today, if not all of it today, and then finish it off tomorrow. I want to also get through this week, by the end of this week, and it is a little under 700 pages, but it's a small edition, so it's probably realistically not, like comparatively, it's not 700 pages. So that's my plans. Right now, I think I'm probably going to play some video games and listen to Red Dragon. I need to make some lunch because I haven't eaten at all today. I am going to go make food, listen to my audiobook, and play some video games. I will update you guys once I'm done with the Red Dragon. I know I haven't really been telling you guys like how I've been feeling about it, but it's really boring. Like 100%, if I didn't have the audiobook, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere close to as far into it as I am. It's not well written. I don't know if I'm going to continue. I guess it'll depend on whether I can get the subsequent books from my library or not, but it's a good plot. Like, it's a good, interesting plot, but the way it's written is just bad. So I may or may not continue. Not anytime soon. Like, I won't continue anytime soon. I just wanted to, because I own the books, I wanted to give them a shot. I am gonna go make some food and then get into my video games. So it is still Friday. It is 7:30 at night, and I have finished some books since the last time we talked. I finished Red Dragon. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The writing really made this book incredibly boring. Don't even write. Like, I'm not a writer. I have no training, I took no classes, nothing, where I feel like I could have written this story better. And this is supposed to be about a serial killer. So I don't know how you take a book that's about a serial killer and make it boring, but this is definitely it. It wasn't so boring that, like, I set it down, obviously. Won't be picking the second one up anytime soon. I then finished One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I gave 3 stars. I was incredibly bored the whole time. If you're not familiar, this is the story. It's told from the point of view of, I think his name is Brom. I literally just listened to this. I think it's like Bromden or something like that. It's told from his point of view, but it's about, he's in a mental health facility, and in this ward, the nurse that runs it is like tyrant, and she and the other like orderlies abuse the patients, and this guy gets admitted who basically fights against nurses, the orderlies, all that. I picked this for the banned book prompt. So this book has been banned in like schools and stuff. I don't know if it currently still is, but I can appreciate what this book does. I can appreciate the themes of like fighting against oppression. I can appreciate that it really shined a light on how people that are in mental health facilities were treated during this time, how they were looked at. This deals a lot with a lot of topics, and it doesn't necessarily give you a critique on it. It just puts it in your face and it tells you to have some opinions about it. So I can appreciate what this did, but I was incredibly bored the whole time, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. That's what I got through. I am almost done with my TBR for the month, which is fantastic. So I know I said the next audiobook that I want to listen to once I finish One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was Dracula, but I think I actually want to listen to Between the World and Me, which is the audiobook about the guy's letters to his son. I'm gonna read The Last Magician, and I will update you guys when I'm further in and have some thoughts. Like I said, I'm only on page 7, so I haven't gotten a whole lot done, but I need to eat dinner because I'm hungry, and I need to get through this because I don't have any thoughts yet. So I will update you guys later tonight or tomorrow. Saturday morning at about, well, I guess afternoon, and I have finished another book. So I finished the audiobook for Between the World and Me, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really stunning, a must read. I recommend seeking out On Voices reviewers to kind of get their opinions on it. This is the story of a Black man living in America writing a letter to his son about how he thinks his life is going to be and how his life has been, you know, living in America as a Black man. And it's a very unflinching look at that. He doesn't shy away from any topics. It's very hard to read and it's very important. So if you have not already, really recommend checking this out. I didn't get any further into The Last Magician because I've just basically been playing video games and watching Twitch all night. I'm actually playing video games right now, but I am going to start the audiobook for Dracula, so I will update you guys once I have some thoughts about that. it is Sunday around 3 o'clock and I want to wrap up this reading vlog because I'm gonna do some more reading today, but I don't think I'm gonna end up finishing everything or anything. So let's talk about what I read this week. So the first book that I finished this week is The Marrow Thieves. I did not read this story because I felt like it dealt with a lot of really hard-hitting and important topics like loss of culture, abuse, and the effects of white supremacy on indigenous people. So I didn't end up reading it, but I think it's a very good book and I would highly recommend that everybody read it. It is very important. Next, I read volume 1 of the graphic novel For the October Faction, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. If you don't know, I don't generally rate the first book in series like manga or graphic novel series because generally it's a setup, but if I find something like really exceptional, then I will rate it. Then I read Sweet Tooth and I did not rate it and I will not be continuing this series. Next, I read The Air He Breathes, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked the relationship. I just didn't really particularly like the more action-y twist at the end. So then I listened to the audiobook of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was very boring, but I can admit that it has its importance. I then listened to the audiobook of Red Dragon. I also gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Again, boring, but I might continue if I can find the audiobook elsewhere. I don't know how the author managed to make a story about a serial killer boring, but he did it. I then listened to the audiobook of Between the World and Me, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. It was absolutely stunning and I would highly recommend. And the other book that I finished this week was Clockwork Prince, which is the second book in the Infernal Devices series, and I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. And then I started and got 140 pages into The Last Magician. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I am really liking kind of the world building and the character development that is going on. I didn't know if the time travel element of it would work for me, but it really is, and it's an interesting concept. We are kind of just getting more information chapter by chapter of what exactly this like all-powerful organization that we're trying to steal these artifacts from, and we're getting more information into the backstory of what these artifacts mean and why they're important, but we don't really know the grand scheme of what these artifacts will do, and we're getting just kind of this setup at this point, and I'm really enjoying it. So those are all of the books that I read this week, I think, and overall it was a pretty decent reading week. I would say that I did the majority of my reading on audio, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I just didn't do great physically. So next week you will see the Sword of Shannara featured, Mistborn. You will also see The Hate You Give and Starsight, and I will be listening to the audiobook of Dracula, and you will have to get my opinions on The Last Magician and all of these books in my next week's reading vlog, so I hope you stick around for that one. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and you like them. I would love to hear your opinion. But if that's it, I will catch you guys in my next one. Thanks so much.